you go, 3 minutes of the most fun I've had on a dirt bike in 2 years. Jeff and I had an invitation to ride a completely different area. Instead of our usual slogging through slow train in first gear, it's swinging the bikes through all these pine trees. It rained last night, so there is slippery clay and plenty of tree roots to take out the front wheel if we aren't concentrating. Very easy to wheel spin on these little climbs due to the clay. A higher gear and body weight to the rear made a huge difference on the longer climbs. This was our first dirt ride in 5 weeks, so we were both so rusty. You know how some guys can be off their bike for months and their skills don't deteriorate? Not us. It took us a solid 4 hours of riding before we were game to pick up the speed a bit on this section. The funny thing, it felt like we'd forgotten how to ride in third gear or higher. It's probably time to do some more normal dirt riding to mix in with our slow technical stuff. We were definitely the slowest riders on the day, and it's probably a good idea to work on our skills when it comes to faster flowing tracks. Time to let David through. Poor bastard. All we are doing is holding him up. This is his home territory and he's used to the faster riding. So while Jeff and I are pushing hard, David is probably trimming his fingernails and trying to stay away. There are some little berms cut into some of the corners. A good rider can rocket through these, but my problem is I'm always worried about blowing the berm, then slipping out. So I tend to hug the inside too much, which lets the front wheel slip, like this. Hey! Slippery! I should probably pay more attention to that training vid we did about riding berms. David is on a 2021 Sherco 300 2-stroke. And it was very interesting to ride it on these tracks. First impressions, a great engine. It felt very similar to our betas, lots of bottom end and good linear power to a screaming top end. Unlike a lot of bikes, there's a noticeable difference with the 3-way mapping switch. With the wet clay, I mostly rode it on the softer setting to minimise wheel spin. The KYB suspension worked better the harder you rode it. Jeff and I both thought it was missing a bit of that plush feel at lower speeds you get with Yamaha's S version of the KYB forks. Jeff and I have both been wondering what to buy next, and so far we are thinking Sherco or TM. One thing's for sure, we're spoiled for choice nowadays, and you can't go wrong with any of the modern two-strokes coming out of Europe. Talking about suspension, after leaving the Beta Cross Trainer suspension stock for 2 years, I finally got the guys at FFRC to revalve the front forks, and it's definitely made a big difference, especially on this sort of track. The rear shock is still stock, and I'll probably leave it that way. But it's a cheap set of lightweight forks, and while FFRC have worked wonders, it still doesn't match the stock forks on Jeff's RR300 or David Sherco. know lots of guys want to buy the Beta Cross Trainer, then turn it into a high-speed weapon. But it's the wrong bike for that. It starts getting twitchy from third gear on. Slow technical riding? Go for it. But for everything else, you are probably better off buying a standard dirt bike. So this was the most fun I've had in a long time. Any dirt ride where you don't die is a good ride, of course. But I love these moments where it all comes together. The heart is pumping hard. You aren't making any serious mistakes. And you're hanging out with a great bunch of guys. Moments to live for. Yeah, guys. Woohoo! Yeah! Time for me to shut up, and I will leave you with a few minutes of the awesome tracks in this area. Thanks for your support, everyone.